What if I told you that your favorite healthy snack could be secretly wrecking your gut and bloating you like a beach ball? But what if there's one super simple trick could flip that on its head, turning nuts into one of the best foods for your microbiome and your metabolism? And today, it's this video that you're gonna go nuts about, because I'm teaching you while some nuts bloat you, while others balance your beneficial belly bugs. The worst nuts, if you've got IBS, bloating, and food sensitivities, why nuts can actually help with weight loss despite being high in that taboo word, fat. The surprising difference between raw, roasted, and activated nuts and which one is best to buy, and my step-by-step approach using ancient techniques to turn nuts from hard to digest to nutrient powerhouses that feed your good microbes. And it's so easy that you could train your kids to do the job. Now stick around to the end where you can grab my essential cheat sheet to make all nuts, legumes, and the infamous grains much easier to digest, more nutritious, and basically your gut bug's BFF. Hi guys, I'm Leilani. I'm a clinical nutritionist and a chef, and I'm here to help boost your gut health with simple everyday ways. So join me for my weekly cooking class and gut health talks. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you can improve your gut health one bite at a time. So are nuts actually good for your gut? Well, they definitely have the top Tinder profile. Nuts are little nutrient-packed powerhouses when they're prepared right. They've got healthy fats, they've got protein, fiber, antioxidants, and polyphenols. So research shows that they can be incredible for your gut, right? Even just a handful of walnuts boosts your butyrate producing bacteria by 160%. It's like fertilizer for your gut lining. Almonds act like prebiotics, so they can increase diversity in just 3 weeks. Brazil nuts are little thyroid boosters in a shell. They're packed with selenium, and it's a hard to get nutrient that fuels your metabolism and keeps your hormones humming. Just one nut a day, your selenium is sorted. But for some people, especially when you've got IBS or sensitive gut, nuts can be irritating, particularly cashews and pistachios. They're high in FODMAP, so they can cause bloating and discomfort. And almonds are high in oxalates, which can be an issue if you are prone to kidney stones. So it can be worth staying away from those guys until you get your gut in a better shape. More on that later. So if you've ever thought, nuts just don't sit right with me, you're not imagining. It's actually the plant protecting its seed. But once they are prepared the right way, the texture becomes crunchy, the bitterness compounds reduce, and they're actually a pleasure to eat. Let's be honest, raw nuts taste like cardboard, and because they're really just not meant to be eaten like that. All right, beautiful community, what's your favorite nut and how do you eat it? Put the answers in the comments below. By the way, if you're wanting to know how to get these little gems in your meals, check out my Power Energy Bowl cooking class. The link will be right here. Now, let's talk raw versus activated versus roasted. What's the deal? Well, raw nuts like locked treasure chests, packed with nutrients, but also wrapped in anti-nutrients like phytic acid and tannins. So these can block mineral absorption, irritate digestion, and cause bloating. And here you are thinking it's a health food. Nutrition is so complex because it's not what you eat, it's really how it's prepared that's the game changer. So this simple fermentation trick I'll show you soon breaks down the food for you, and it does a lot of the heavy lifting so you get the benefits and your gut gets a break. Roasted nuts. So they're not fermented, but they are more crunchy, moreish, and the dry heat knocks the phytic acid down by about 30%. But the high temperatures damage delicate fats and antioxidants. So it's kind of a win-lose situation. Why is life so unfair? And then there's activated nuts, which have had basically a day at the day spa. And the soaking softens them, leaches out some of the tannins, and reduces the anti-nutrients. But sprouting goes next level. It is the gold standard. It's essentially fermenting, but it's neutralizing the enzyme inhibitors and making these babies much easier to digest and on your gut. And then they become like a multivitamin. Now, our ancestors knew this. Native Americans soaked their acorns in running water for days to remove the harsh tannins. So in summary, raw is best if you want to sprout or soak yourself, but it can cause bloating if eaten unprepared. So I wouldn't recommend eating raw nuts unless you prepare them right. That's coming shortly. Roasted nuts is a step up from raw. It is slightly better digestion, activated, pre-soaked, and dried, the gentlest on your stomach if you don't want to do the prep work yourself and you got some cash to splash. Now you can do this in bulk. It does take just a few minutes of prep, and I'll give you the lowdown in just a second. But if you want to just skip ahead and get straight to my guide for preparing nuts, grains, and legumes with the exact soak times, the best substances to use for each category, hit the link below and it'll take you there. So just quickly, now on that weight loss paradox, yes, nuts can be calorie dense. Nut eaters are actually leaner. Science says that your body actually absorbs 20% fewer calories from nuts than the label says. They're crazy satiating, and they've got protein and fiber, so you're less snacksy. And particularly when you're swapping nuts out for processed foods. One review of 62 studies found people eating nuts actually lost weight compared to non-eaters. So there you go. So what's the technique? Really, really simple. You have to get a glass jar. It can't be plastic and it can't be metal. It has to be glass. It's got to be boiled and then dried so that the fermentation process is clean. You'll need some apple cider vinegar and you'll need some salt, and I'll get into the best, and you need some clean water. Now, one of the most important things is to soak these nuts. And if you can look, you can see how cloudy this is. So you do want to give this a good rinse. And so what I did essentially is I took these nuts. They've got to be raw. You can't use roasted. You've got to use raw nuts. And you can use kind of any nut, but every nut has a slightly different time frame. And so that'll be on my cheat sheet as well. But you'll take the nuts and you've got to put it in the glass and fill it with water to cover. Now the water has to be filtered, can't have any of the chlorine or it just will not ferment. Now next up, you're going to add some salt, and again it's on the cheat sheet. So this is a Celtic sea salt. You can use pure sea salt, Himalayan salt, not iodine, and not table salt. I couldn't think of it, I don't buy it. Table salt, because the chemicals actually prevent or they interfere with the breakdown of the phytic acid. So just get yourself a good salt. It's worth it anyway. It's cheap as chips. The other thing you'll need is apple cider vinegar. So the apple cider vinegar, preferably with the mother at the bottom, it lowers the pH of the water, so it boosts the breakdown of tannins and the phytic acid, which are the anti-nutrients. So by fermenting, we're actually breaking down the gas causing components. So you are going to get less gas or farting as well with this. And it's the same with legumes. So it's a similar process for every grain and legume, except you just need different substances and different times. So that's what's on that sheet. Some need buckwheat flour, some need apple cider vinegar. It's all a bit different. And there's other options if you don't have apple cider vinegar. So that's also on there. So you're going to cover it. Now the other thing is the water needs to be warm. It doesn't have to stay warm, but you want to keep it at ideally a warmer temperature. It shouldn't go in the fridge. It needs to sit out. If you live in a cool climate, then it might just take a bit longer to see those little sprout, because what you're looking for, depending on your gut health, you can do this overnight and see if that works. But if you've really got compromised gut, you want to sprout these. So you'll be looking, and I thought I'd get there, but it's winter where I'm at now. So you'd like a little sprout end, which I haven't got there yet. And that's the ultimate. So that should be really easy for your body to digest. If you still are having problems after doing fermentation on grains and legumes and nuts, then you really can have a dysbiosis, and that's going to require a lot more of that supplements, testing, gut reset protocol to be able to eat healthy, but also just other foods. Restricted diets do not work. Long term, they're very bad for your health because they starve your good gut bacteria. I won't go into that in this talk, but there's plenty of talks. I've got a gut health essentials. I'll put the link there. But go into the link and go check out my gut health course. It's got more information. And I want to know, have you activated your nuts at home? Once they're soaked, and this is the longer the better generally, but there's a few precautions there that you'll find on the cheat sheet. But the thing is, you do want to rinse this water because, as you can see, it's really dirty, and I've done this for 2-3 days. Every day you want to change this water and make sure because it's just loaded with the anti-nutrients. So you want to just keep leaching that out there. Then you're going to drain this and put it onto either in a dehydrator, or if you don't have that, which I don't, just in a low heat oven. So about 50 degrees Celsius or 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and you'll just leave that for a long time, really. And once you know it's crunchy, you'll get to taste them. You can also put flavorings on at that point. That's when you know they're ready. And I can tell you, what a game changer. They taste delicious. Do yourself a favor and just try it one time. Spread nuts, and then have a few, like a small handful of whatever nut you've chosen, so you can build your nut microbiome bacteria up, and then you'll be able to enjoy nuts, and it's the same with legumes a lot more. So I hope that was helpful. Until next time, love your guts.